Today in this video, we are going to talk about solving one-step equations. So we're going to look at how we use our inverse operations to solve one variable equations. So inverse operations, remember, are operations that undo each other. So in addition, it's an addition and subtraction. It's when we add or subtract a number from the same number or a very similar number to get 0. In multiplication and division, we look for the product or the quotient to be 1. So that's what it means for them to be inverses. So in number 1, we have x minus 5 equals negative 13. Remember, anytime you are solving equations, your goal is to get x by itself. You want to figure out what the value of x is. So right now, on the left-hand side of our equation, we have x minus 5 equals negative 13. If we want to get x by itself, what we need to do is figure out how to move this negative 5 to the other side, or how to get our constants on the left-hand side to be 0. Well, the only way that would happen is if we add 5 to this negative 5. That would leave me just with an x plus 0, or x on the left side. But if you remember, if we add 5 to the left-hand side, we also have to add 5 to the right-hand side. So we're going to add 5 to both equations. That is going to give us a solution of x equals negative 8 because negative 13 plus 5 equals negative 8. Okay? Same thing. So for number 2, we have negative 8 equals n plus 4. Okay? Our problem doesn't change just because our variable is on the right-hand side. Okay? We still want to isolate this variable, but now we have to undo addition. Well, if we undid subtraction by addition, we'll undo addition by subtraction. Or what do we need to do this positive 4 to get an n by itself? Well, we need to subtract 4. And if we subtract 4 from the right-hand side, we have to subtract 4 from the left-hand side. Negative 8 minus 4 equals negative 12. So your answer is n equals negative 12. I do want you to guys know that you will see it written as n equals negative 12, and that is how you should write it. Okay. 3, 4x equals 128. So now we have 4 times some number that we're looking to find is equal to 128. Well, how would we get this coefficient to be 1? What do we have to do the 4 to get the coefficient to be 1? Well, the only thing we can do is divide by 4, since we know that 4 divided by 4 is 1. And if we divide the left-hand side by 4, we have to divide the right-hand side by 4. 128 divided by 4 gives us x equals 32. Okay. Similarly, okay, now I have division. We just talked about how 4 divided by 4 is 1. Okay? So we can apply that same principle here to x over 4 equals negative 9. Well, right now we're dividing, okay, by 4. How do we cancel out that 4 or get an x just to be left? Well, we have to multiply both sides of the equation by 4. Because when we multiply both of these out, it's going to be leave the coefficient of x to be 1, because 4 divided by 4 is 1. So we get x is equal to negative 36. Lastly, okay, now we have 4x divided by 5. So right now we are multiplying, okay, x by a fraction. Okay? You have two options. Okay? You may perform this in 2 steps, or you may perform this in 1. Okay? You may notice right here that we're dividing 4x by 5. Well, we just showed that we undo division, okay, by multiplication. So we'd have to multiply by 5, okay, and then divide by 4. Or, okay, you can see this as 4/5 times x. So what we would need to do is we need to apply some operation to 4/5 in order to get the coefficient of x to equal 1. Well, we can multiply 4/5 by 5/4 in order to get 1, because the 4 in the numerator and denominator will cancel out, and the 5 in the numerator and denominator will cancel out, leaving us with just x. Okay? This number that we multiply, okay, is called the reciprocal. The reciprocal, you should probably write this down, is when we flip the numerator and denominator of a fraction. So the reciprocal of 4/5 is 5/4, and a fraction times its reciprocal is always going to be 1. And again, if we do something to one side of the equation, we have to do it to the other. 28 times 5/4 is 35, which which you can go ahead and check in your calculator. Okay? If you have any questions, make sure you let me know. I'll see you in class.